about 17 billion things for you. Cancel it. Cancel it.
I plays music. If you say you know, they by my side, oh. If you say you let them decide on my case, oh. If you say you know, get mercy on me like you do. Like I no go leave, like I no go get life again, no. Poverty you lie, I say bye bye, oh. Me and my success, not high five, oh. Papa God bless me, oh. Me and my God, oh. I go marry, I go build house, oh. Money got it plenty for pay title. Papa God bless me, oh. Me and my God, oh. God, they from my side, oh. Side, oh. God, they from my side, oh. God, they from my side, oh. I said my God, they from my side, oh.
Shabba.
All right. Just like that, we are back. We are connected. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome, everybody. We are live. Good to see everyone that is joining. We have a bunch of people in already. And that was Maureen Forbah. My goodness, what a gift to the nation of Cameroon we have in the person of Maureen Forbah right there on that wonderful track right there. God is indeed on my side. I am glad to have you all joining. I see Prophet Pascal from Maryland. Logris Feco is in the house. Oh, yes, it is Team Gleek today. All right, everyone is coming on, and a bunch of other people that I do not know who they are. Just say hello to us, and we will recognize you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a plate full today, and we would go ahead to welcome our guests. If you haven't shared the live stream, this is the moment to share this right now. Someone's just reaching out to me for the link. Please, 1 second. Let me do that, and we are good to go. The art of story writing or script writing is what we are talking about today. And I know this is going to be a blessing to everyone as you come on board. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I need to get my pen because we're talking about writing, and there's going to be a lot of that today. So I have that here. I have some two girls here who are my assistants in this office. They always assisting things. I don't need assistants, but I got the pen, so we are good. We are good. We are good. We are good. Now we are ready to talk about script writing and story writing. That is what we're talking about today. And like I sent out the message to someone. I said, if you have a story, if you have a message, you have something you want to put out there and you just don't know how to do it, God gives these gifts to people differently. this is the time to come on board and you will certainly be blessed. So let's go ahead and welcome our guest for today. Welcome to Empowerment Hour, Geraldine Forbah.
Hi.
I have to keep those names. I have to
Hi,
keep them
Mr.
between Maureen
Gilbert.
and Geraldine. Good to have you
Hi.
today.
Good to see you. So happy to be here today. Such an honor. Thank you for having me on your platform. I am so excited to get this. I'm very, very excited to be here.
Nice. We are also excited to hear from you. This is not something we hear every day, and people
Mm,
like you are not people we come across every day. So we are very, very, very blessed today. We watch movies, we talk about every great person in the movie. We talk about the different characters, but we
right.
barely get to know or see. Sometimes we just see the names, and another think many people wait to see all the write up about who wrote the movie and all of that. But
Mm-hmm.
today we are meeting the key component of every movie, every drama, what we see out there. So we're really glad to have you. Welcome once again.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
How are you doing so far? How
I
is your
am
day going? And
good.
how is nice?
I'm good. I'm good. I know we're coming into a time where things are changing a lot. And I'm trying to keep up with the pace. Some days it's like, oh, but some days we have to show up. So, but
Right.
generally, I'm good. I'm doing good.
Okay. So let's get started today with the very first basic. Let's get to know who is you see, I almost said Maureen Forbah. So who is Geraldine Forbah? Let's get to know who is Geraldine Forbah. Tell us a little bit about who you
Okay, so that's like the hardest question I get to answer on a daily
are.
basis. But I'm just going to say, if I should describe Geraldine, I would say she's a very simple girl that was born in Nigeria to a Cameroonian dad and a Nigerian mom, to a very beautiful family, fourth girl out of five girls. And she spent most of her growing age in Cameroon discovering herself, her gifts, her talents, and just forming that life that she's always wanted to live. It's not been an easy journey, but I enjoy every process because it gave me something to live for. It made a meaning out of my life, and it's actually growing me into the person that I have always dreamt of becoming. So I thank God for the path, and yeah, that's basically my me in small words.
Nice. That's a lot right there that we got in that short space of time. So good to know. At the end of the day, Nigeria has come in to take that credit again. Oh my. Well, it
No,
is.
I
It is. It is the greatest country on earth. That's
well, yeah,
after Cameroon. So born in
I,
Nigeria, raised in Cameroon. So there's
yes,
a little bit of Nigeria attached to that, which is part of that wonderful story of Nigeria being the giant of Africa and great things
yeah,
coming out of that. But we're going to claim this today and say this is a Cameroon product. You were
of
raised in
course,
Cameroon,
of
so
course.
everything about you is
It's
Cameroon, right?
Cameroon. Love my country.
Nice. That's good.
Yes.
That's good. I'm glad you agreed with that. I want to recognize everyone that's coming, Elive from Switzerland and all the bunch of people coming in. So, growing up, you talked about dream right there. Growing up,
Hmm.
did you dream of becoming a writer, script writer, story writer? Was that part of your dream? Just tell us a little bit about your childhood and how you got into this path in which you are.
Okay. Yeah. First of all, growing up, being a scriptwriter has always been my dream. You know, I discovered that I could write when I realized that I had my imagination was so broad that I created a world, a whole world in my head that I was living in. It became so tangible that I could even speak to the things and the people that I created in my head. And so that was my word because to me it was safer than the world I was seeing outside. So I will always, always just put myself in that space and be living in that world. I had a lot of people in that world that I created in my head. And I was in control because I was the one creating. So I made things happen the way I wanted them to happen. And when it became that intense, I started putting it in writing. I was like, okay, the only way for me to communicate what I'm seeing in my head is to write it out. So I started writing different stories, different things, and then it became so strong that I just realized that that is what gives me joy. It gives me happiness. That's what makes me feel like I'm living, when I get to create these characters and I get to walk in different shoes, the ones that are happy, the ones that are sad. Sometimes I write and I shed tears because I'm feeling like these people. They're not real, but I'm feeling like them. And then I just,
About sorry, about what age? About what age did that start
that
happening?
was
How
in
young were
between
you?
12, 13
Wow.
years. Yeah. Yeah, so
Wow.
that became my own way of expressing myself. But I wasn't verbally gifted like that. I couldn't speak what I was seeing or what I was feeling. But when I wrote it down in words and I read it to myself, it was real to me. And that just kept me going.
Yeah, this is so good. This is Brother Marcelo. Thank you for joining, and everyone else that is coming on. This is so good right here. What I'm
Yeah.
hearing, and at a pretty young age, 12 years old. Oh,
Mhm.
Apostle Byron from Atlanta. Thank you for joining, Apostle. We are grateful to have you here with us. This is just so amazing. At the age of 12, you started having that, and you had a world in your mind, and you
Yes.
said something powerful right there, that you realized that you couldn't express this world that you had in your mind. You couldn't speak it. But
Yeah.
when you wrote it down, and so does that tell you something about people that may be gifted in talking and others may be gifted in writing? Did you realize that, others were able to speak, to
Mhm.
express
Mhm.
more, fluently, and
Mhm.
you were more of a writing person? Were you able to see that difference pretty early?
Yes, I was able to see that. And sometimes I felt like it was a defect because I want to say it. I want to say these things, but I can't say them. I can't find the right words to express them. So sometimes when somebody's talking to me and I want to respond to that person, it doesn't come out like I'm seeing it in my head. And then I will end up just writing and showing the person, okay, this is what I actually am trying to say. And when the person reads that, the person gets it, they understand it. So I struggled with that a lot because, communication is words. Like, that's how we live in our human world. I'm not dumb, so I can speak. So when people meet me, they expect me to talk. And then in my mind, I have answered every question they're answering, that they're asking me. Like, I've given the answers. But when I open my mouth to say them, it comes out short lived. And then when I go back and I'm thinking about the questions that they asked me, I'm like, this is what I wanted to say, but I didn't say it. So I was just like, okay, maybe I should use this aspect of me. It's not a weakness. I started seeing it as a strength. And I was like, okay, maybe I should just put it down. I can create as much as possible. I believe that someday people will be able to read what I write and see the pictures in my head and then get to understand what I'm trying to communicate to them and to the world. So it became more of a
Yeah.
I leaned on.
Yes.
Mhm.
Wow. This is just amazing. Just like we have Reverend Paul Goofy from North Carolina saying powerful testimony right there. This is so true. We also have
Yeah.
Pastor John Neba from Bamenda. Thank you for
Hi.
joining the boss of
Hi.
RGTV Media
Yeah.
House. Great, great, great,
Hi.
great to have you all joining. This is just amazing. As you're saying this, it just really begins to tell me of the scripture that talks about God gave different gifts to men,
Yes.
different gifts. And we've always limited this to the fivefold, some apostles, prophets, teachers, but these are diverse gifts that he has
Mm-hmm.
given to men. And
Mm-hmm.
someone may be out there who is so fluent, a good orator, but if you give him a pen to write, you
Oh,
would.
yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Have you come across that in your art, in your career? Yeah.
Yes, I have. I have come across some people who can talk very well, but they can't write what they're saying. So they get to find people like us, and then they create the picture. We see what they are saying as images in our minds. I think that's the difference between the writers and the talkers. To us, words form images in our minds. We see it as living things, and then we're able to write it down. We're able to communicate through writing. So they come to us and like, okay, this is it, this is it, this is it. And then we see all of the emotions per the words that they are saying, how they put their words in, even the sound that comes out with the words that they say. We see that as the emotion they're trying to communicate, and then we're able to write it down. And when they read it, they say like, oh yes, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. Or that's the image that is in my mind, and I'm speaking. And then we're like, okay, it's a blend. It's
It
always a good blend.
is. It
Yeah.
is. Wow. This is amazing. You see how God does things, and you were just amazed with that.
Yeah.
It's just amazing what I'm hearing right here. And you totally agree with that, that there are people that are excellent talkers and
Of
just
course.
talk. They
Yeah.
open their mouth and they just talk, but they cannot write. And
Yes.
then they have to come now to the people that can
Yeah.
write so well and be
Mm-hmm.
able to communicate everything that they have, been able to talk, and then they'll put it down.
Mm-hmm.
So, along the line, growing up, what really inspired you? Did you have any mentors or people that you admired to really that you were looking up to and growing up in this craft and saying, hey, I want to be like this person? Or what inspired you? Or was it just the fact that you had those pictures in your mind all the time? What really inspired you to get into script writing?
Okay, first of all, it was just the pictures in my mind. And then when I was growing up into like my 15, 16 years, there was this channel, Disney Channel, that it was raining. Like that was every childhood. If you know, if you're a child in those days, you understand that Disney Channel was like the reigning channel. Everybody was watching Disney Channel. So whenever I watch the way the people were acting, the way the dramatized everything that they were trying to project, I was like, wow, I want to be able to bring my stories to life like this. So that inspired me a lot as well. And then I started writing stories that were relatable in that time. I have written, oh, sorry
No problem. No
about that.
problem. Take your time.
So sorry. I have written stories that I can't even remember because I was inspired in my that time frame in my life that inspired me a lot. And then moving to into my older teenage age, I was inspired by Tyler Perry. You know, he used to write great movies then. So when I watched Tyler Perry movies and how he was able to like break the barrier between the white community and the black community and tell inspiring stories, I was like, okay, someday I want to write like this person. I want to be able to like just be in the limelight and be able to inspire my own generation with the imaginations that I have in my head, and be able to bring a change, because these stories that time, they inspired the way we lived, even the way we dressed, the way we talked, the things that we wanted in life. These stories inspired us like that. So I was like, okay, someday I want to be able to inspire my world with the world that I have in my head as well. So yeah, that was my inspiration. It came in different phases.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Inspired all through from Disney Channel, and then a couple of other people you mentioned, Tyler Perry right there.
Hmm.
And that is quite interesting right there. We have also Magdi from Cameroon watching. Also, we have Reverend Paul is also asking, with through this journey, do you also write the word of God to bless people? Do you also write the word of God? He's trying to find out if your inspiration also has to do with biblical write-ups.
Yes, most definitely. It's the foundation of everything that I do. I have like I can just say that every process that I've gone through, every school that I've put myself through, is the whole idea is to sharpen my skills to get to the point where I can tell biblical stories from a very, very godly perspective, from a strong point, like, because that is what matters, to use the gift that I have to serve the Lord and serve my generation based on what God will want me to do. And also to say that one of the ways I got to know that this is a gift that God gave me for a reason, and I should not drop it, because maybe it's not something that pushes people in the limelight. I should work on it. when I sleep, sometimes I get inspiration. I get movies, they play in my mind. I see the movies like straight up in my head, and I wake up in the morning and I write them down. This is what I saw, this is what I saw, this is what I saw. It creates a beautiful plot twist, and then I'm able to create the screenplay out of it. So I always believe that that was one of many ways that God used to give me inspiration. Like, okay, God is in this thing. It's not just me fantasizing over writing or creating stories. This is what God wants me to do. So the end goal of my writing journey is to be able to produce my own films that are completely Christian based and godly. So yeah, the word of God
Wow.
is in it.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. Wonderful. Wonderful. Yes, indeed, Apostle Byron Cooper. May God may God's grace continue to bless you and keep you. Indeed, indeed.
Amen.
You've talked about here as you went on, you talked about how you were able to notice this skill that,
Mm-hmm.
primarily from the aspect that you had things you wanted to communicate, and then you realized that you were, unable to really express them verbally, but you did better in writing. Someone may be watching out there and saying, how do I know if my skill or my strength, my niche is more in writing than talking? What would you advise? How can someone know they are called to this writing art, and what ways can you give as advice for you to easily identify that, hey, you've got this thing in you?
So one of the ways, I think that's the most glaring way to know that, okay, this is what I'm called to do, is like I said, when words become images in your mind, then you know that, okay, the best way for you to do is to write it down. Because it's one thing to be able to tell a story, like from a summary of a story, and it's another thing to be able to create a whole life from that story. So if, for example, you're going somewhere, you're sitting in a conference and people are talking about business, about money. And while they are talking about that, you're seeing a whole life being built around that topic. You can see different people relating to that topic differently, characters, people coming, being heard, people coming, being happy, people coming, learning stuff. And you're just seeing that growing in your mind as an image, and you can see the end from the beginning. Then know that you have that gift. If you invest in it, if you sit down to write, you are going to create a whole world on its own. Because I used to say that the fairy tale, the wonders of a fairy tale is that you can see the future of something, even if you failed at that thing. Like right now, I'm not a marine. Let me just use, for example, a marine, but I can I can create a whole lifestyle for a marine just by imagining how it happens for them. I can do that by studying the life of a marine and making my research, and just so I have accurate information on how they live. And then from that, I can create a whole life for a marine, something that people have not seen before, but when they see, they can relate. So if you see words and they become images in your mind and you are able to create a life from it, then you know that you got it. You got the,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. That is amazing. You touched there on the aspect where you could be in the middle of people and their conversation is going on, and you see a whole story coming out of
Yes.
that. Do you
Yes.
want to press on that? Give us some examples of situations where you found yourself and people didn't even know you were already processing what they were talking
Mm-hmm.
about. Give us an
Mm-hmm.
example of such moments when you created a whole plot or a whole story in your mind just out of something which an ordinary person may not see. Any examples of that in your journey?
Yes. So there was this time, funny, there's a very, very funny story. So there's this time when a friend of mine came and she was talking to me about how the first time she got to see her period, it was very scary for her. She was very afraid, like, what's happening to me. And so when she was telling me that story, I started imagining how many young girls must have gone through that same kind of scenario. And I was like, okay, I can use this to educate young girls on how to deal with that shock, like first time a shock. So when she was talking in my mind, I was seeing how this girl, this young girl, naive, she's just living her life, she's playing around, she's jumping around, she has no idea that something like that is about to hit her. And when she finally gets it, the way she reacted to it, I'm like putting together every young girl's reaction into this one young girl's life. And then I'm playing that scenario in my mind, how she's shocked, how she reacts to it, how she tells her parents about it, how the parents react to it. So it was just coming to me. And then I went straight, created a whole story out of that. And when I sent that story to somebody, the person read it, and the person was like, wow, we've never seen this. Stories like this have never been told before. We didn't even think that somebody can create something out of this, something this small. So yeah, it was just very beautiful. And the story, it's just a beautiful world.
It is just
It's
like
a
you
very
said it
beautiful.
right here, and just like you said it right here. When you started talking, I was thinking, okay, it was going to be all around the girl's experience, and then boom, you said how she goes to tell her parents, how her parents reacted. This is just now out of the ordinary, out of what every other ordinary person would think of, and that's the skill right there. So
Yeah.
great tips, right there
Thank
to someone
you.
who how to identify this skill. Now, let's talk a little bit about the context in which you grew up. Cameroon, country in Central West Africa, right there, and I think Bamenda, to be precise,
Yeah,
right?
Amanda.
Yes. And so growing up there, this skill or this talent you have, it's not something that is highly valued or even respected or even looked upon. And especially with the low level of education, very few people are,
Yeah.
able to read back then and stuff like that. It's not like an educated society like the West. How did this skill develop for you in such an environment which doesn't nurture or really have value for this? Because you may be writing all those papers and nobody even reads them.
Of
And
course.
my daughter, she writes a lot and brings to me, and the moment I try to be busy, she gets really frustrated that I didn't get to read it.
Yeah, I
So
can.
how did you cope in such an environment to nurture this skill up to this point?
So it was, like I said, it was not an easy journey. And I was just so passionate about the whole thing that I wasn't thinking about doing anything else but write. Even when I went to school, I would turn my school books into writing books. I would write stories everywhere and like on those books. And I just came and I was piling these books. Like I had a lot of books that I had written different stories in. And sometimes my parents would ask me, like, you're writing all of this, who is going to read? Or where is this going to ever be produced? I'm like, don't worry, that's where I find my joy. I'm just doing my thing. And I believe that someday I'll find my way around becoming a script writer, like a professional script writer, and make a living out of it. And it took me years, like years of writing, and I kept reading different scripts from really, really good writers. I was reading scripts, I was reading books on script writing, and then any opportunity that I had to talk to filmmakers, I would talk to them. And I just wanted to feel like I'm doing what I want to do, like I'm living that dream, no matter what it was costing me at the time. So I self-educated. I can say I homeschooled myself on, it was a gift, but I had to make it a skill. So I homeschooled myself. I did online courses. I was reading a lot. I still read a lot. And then I watched different genres of movies, just knowing that someday I'm going to have an opportunity to show what I write to somebody. And when that day comes, I want to be good, because I know that first impression is everything. I want to be good. And so there, I was always putting myself out there. So when I'm writing for something that is just me, I was not writing for anybody, just my thing. I saved up some money and I got a very small laptop because I wrote until I had blisters. My fingers were swollen. So I just, hey, I can't keep going
Wow.
way. I have to find a better way to upgrade my office. So
Wow.
very
This
small.
is serious.
I got a small HP laptop and I started writing on it. And whenever I was writing, I will video myself or take a picture of myself and I'll put it on my social media platform. And I'll just be like, oh, thinking through my fingers, creating the world, doing the writing again. And then I will post short excerpts of the things that I have written, like professionally done. And I'll post it on my Facebook page. And one day somebody wrote to me. That was a filmmaker in Cameroon. He wrote to me and was like, I see you're a script writer. I said, yes. Oh, do you have time to write? I need a script. I said, of course, I have all the time in the world to write. And the person was like, okay, this is the story. You've never written for me before, so I don't know how much I can trust you with the story, but this is the story. Write something and let me see. I didn't ask for money. I just needed an opportunity for somebody to read what I write. And then I did that story. I finished the story in a very short time and I sent to this person. And when the person read it, he was so impressed. It was like, wow, this is good. This is tight. I love, love, love it. And the person said, okay, I'm going to produce this. And he went on to produce that movie. And then he called me again. And this time it was a real gig because he offered to pay. I was like, okay, wow. I was excited because that's when I made my first money writing. And he gave me the story. I wrote it and I sent to him. Then months after, he calls me again and he says, I have a client in the United States that is in need of a story. Are you ready to write? I said, of course, I'm always ready to write. And so he put me in contact with this lady. And the same day, the lady called me back and said, I need a story for a humanitarian project that I am doing. And I want us to talk about, that story was about disabilities in the country, like how people handle disabled people. And she was like, this story, I want to pass out a very strong message. So I need the story to be good. That was very challenging for me. So I had to go learn about this disability, did my research on it, and then I created the whole story. She didn't give me a story. I had to create a story out of this disabled person, how the person was looking for a job, wanted a job so bad, and was like treated very badly because the person was disabled. And then I had to create a whole world around that person's life and be able to navigate that person through his journey in finding his way in the society, getting society to see him for him and his strength beyond his disability. So I wrote that story and I sent to her, and she was really, 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 really impressed by it. So from then on, she said, okay, you're going to be the one writing for me. I have a lot of stories, so you will be the one to write all of my stories. I was very, 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 very excited. To me, that was a big breakthrough. And she wasn't playing. Every time she would send me stories, write about this, write about this, write about this. And I kept on writing. I think I've written like more than 10 stories for this same.
Wow.
Yeah. So she calls me this day and she tells me that she wants to do a movie for Netflix. So that was a serious project.
Wow.
This is no longer YouTube. This is Netflix. So you need to step up your notch. I was like, yeah, of course, I'm up to the task. And then she gives me the center around the story and I had to create again. When I created that story, I sent to her. She said she's sending to a script doctor because there's something that we producers do before they take the script for production. When they get a script, they send it to a script doctor. The script doctor has to go over the script and make sure that it's good for filming before she approves. When the script doctor approves of it, then the script is good for filming. So she says she's sending to a script doctor who works for Netflix in Nigeria. Then I was like, I was panicking. I said, God, okay, so how is this going to play out? So she sent the script to this script doctor, and a few days later, she calls me and said, this script doctor wants to talk to you about this story. I was like, okay, this is serious. She sent my number to her, put us in contact, and she called me and said, the script is great. I love it. All I need you to do is do some small edits, tighten the there's the middle part, that is the twist. Give it some twist, like tighten the twist a little bit, make it stronger some more, and then give it a good finish. It either makes people mad at the end or makes people happy, but it has to have a good finish. So like, okay, I got on it, spent the whole night. I didn't sleep. I was like up the whole night because I needed to deliver on time. And it's a very competitive world. Like people don't hear a lot about script writers, but there are a lot of them. And one of the things that, if you want to stay on your game as a script writer, you must be able to deliver your scripts on time. So I took the challenge. I spent the whole night. I had to redo the middle part of the script, and then I sent it to her. She gave it a good take, like, this is great, good to go. She sent it to the producer, and that was it. And then few months after, this same person calls me from Nigeria, and she was like, I have a gig for you. Are you ready to write? This is a Nigerian producer. There are no jokes. So every time they come to me, they try to set expectation. And I get it. That's fine. It makes you to stay on your game. And she was like, are you ready to write? I said, of course I'm ready to write. So she connects me to another filmmaker in Nigeria. The person reaches out to me, gives me a story. Like, okay, I need the script in less than 2 weeks. And that is like setting you on fire, because to create, it can take like a month to come up with a good script if you don't want to blow your brains out. So I was like, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I said, of course, I'm up to the task. I can do it. So then I got that script. I wrote that script and I sent it. They sent it back for some corrections. And we were going back and forth until finally we got the final product. And when we finally hit the final product, it was a hit. They told me that script, the budget for that script was 100 million naira. And I was like, Jesus. Yeah, they said it was 100 naira, and they were not joking about the story. So then, but it was approved at the end. It was a challenging time for me. I was lost in my own thoughts. I was still. Sorry for that distortion. While I was home, I was locked in my room. I had my earphones on and I had music in my ear because I needed to be away from the world outside and just stay in the world in my mind, because that gives me the real expression that I needed in the time. Hi.
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you good. I can hear you very well.
I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you good. Can you see me? I can hear you good. All right. I think she's got. Yes, I can hear you very well. I can hear you very well.
Okay, so.
Can you hear me?
I don't know if you can hear me, but I think it's frozen on my end.
Can you hear me? Okay, then maybe back out and come back in. That'll get you back or reconnected. Yes, just come back in. Let me knock you off and then bring you back in. Oh my, that was amazing time right there. She's coming right back. She is coming right back. Can you hear that, people? Can you hear that? Let me catch up a few comments as she jumps right back into the studio. I think she had a call that got her disrupted. That was exactly what happened, or something of that sort. But we have, she's right back. She's back right here. And yes, just take it over. I'm sure it's better now.
I'm so sorry for that. Sorry for that.
No worries. No worries. Yes.
Like I was saying, it got to that, the approved the script finally. That was very challenging. I'm not even going to lie, because all through I've been might have been making it sound like I had a very smooth journey getting to being where I am. No, I had very challenging moments. So it was either the script was being approved or not. So I had to give in my best. So like I said, I was locked into that world for days. Like I would just go pick something to eat. My mom, she was very supportive. She would make me this herbal teas and like drink it so that your brain is refreshed. And then I was there all through, and finally the script got approved, and that's how my doors for writing for Nigerian filmmakers opened, because from then I got recommended for other scripts that I wrote for the Nigerian community filmmakers there. And then I got to write comedy for Zwalakate. If some maybe I'm
Oh,
sure,
really?
but yeah, I got to write a comedy script for him as
Wow.
well. Yes, and then
So
from the
these
I think
comedians also use scripts. I didn't know
yes,
they use scripts. I
they do.
thought they
They
just get on
do.
their home and just get on the phone and just get on the screen and do
No,
something
no,
stupid.
they
No?
do actually. Yeah, so he wanted to do a
Wow.
feature film, so he contacted me, and I had to write a whole comedy show for him. I had never done that. Was the first comedy thing I did in my life, so it was challenging, but God gives the grace, and I was able to write it for him, and he was happy. He got in some good veterans to act the script, the story, and he sent me pictures of
Yeah,
this.
so the movie he has with all those veterans, Pet Edochie and all those is that the script or is another one?
That part of it, because I did part of the stories, the scripts, because he
Okay.
did some movies back then. I think he stopped doing movies, but the movies he was doing, I think I wrote about two of them, and
Wow.
all these veterans reading my script with my name on it. I was like, girl, you did
That's
it.
good. That's good.
Yeah,
That's
so
good.
that gave me
Wow.
a lot of encouragement, and from there I have just been writing for several different people and just sharpening my skills to today.
Sweet. This is so beautiful right here. We have a bunch of comments and reactions that have come in right here. We have, I think I caught up from, we had Sister Benedict just saying amen to that. And of course, let me catch up a few of these comments right
Okay.
here. Justin also says, and this, of course, we read that one earlier. There's a question here. What advice do you have for young writers based in Africa in terms of one, developing their craft to global standards, and
Mm-hmm.
number two, branding, number three, avenues where they can market their work, and mentorship opportunities. So I think that's a lot. We're going to come back to that. Hold your breath on that.
Right.
We also have your boss is right here. He says, Mr. Julius says, hi, my princess. You are a superstar and you are doing awesome. I personally do not even know how you create all these, but you just do. You are just so gifted. Amen. I am so proud of
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you.
Yes. Lugris Feco, may God, my God, my God, just responding, reacting to that. God, my God is using you to do amazing things. You are phenomenal. Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. Of course, we have Minister Grace Folu. I can't wait to see your scripts acted by the big guys in Cameroon, Nigeria, Hollywood, and more.
Uh,
In fact, you start directing as well. You start
of course,
directing as well.
of course, that's part
Right there.
of yeah.
Asaf ACN is just responding, reacting to that in a very powerful way right there. Emanuela Fume says it's really an art. Excellent, Chira.
Thank you.
Uh, Ngwasiri Paul, Zuzuzwala Kante. Yes, she wrote for him. And
Yes.
of course, Dr. Shalom says, my Gerard. There you go. So, quite a great reaction from people out here, just feeding in. Pastor Anita Eta says this is so impressive. This is really impressive, Sister
Thank you.
Geraldine, what you're
Thank
telling
you.
us today. And I was going to ask you how you got this notoriety that you have, but you've walked us through that journey already, and
Mm-hmm.
just from one person. And a key thing I remember from the start of that journey right there, you said it was not about the money. This
Yeah.
guy reached out to you. He wanted a script, and you wrote a free script and gave him, and he acted the movie free.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
he came back for the second one, and that's when you talked about money. I think that
Yeah.
is really key.
Mm-hmm.
As we would go back to talk to MacD's question up there about finding a market. And let me get back to that question, because I think a lot of times it's people starting off with prize.
Right.
And I think that can shut a lot of doors. But respond to this question as to what advice you have for scriptwriters based in Africa, how they can develop their craft to global standards, and also what advice you have on branding, mentorship, avenues for opportunities.
Okay, so I would say that first of all, just keep writing. If you know you have the gift, just keep writing, because the more you write, the more you sharpen your skills, and the more you're ready when the market comes. And then for how to put yourself in the market, whatever you do, put yourself out there, brand yourself. Just because that's how I got contacted. I was always just doing something and I was just posting, even though I wasn't getting anything from it. And I was not necessarily writing for somebody. I wasn't doing a big project. I was just doing my thing. I was just writing for me. And then every time I'll do that, I'll put it out there and I put it out there and it's just talk highly of my craft. And that's another thing I would say, speak highly of your craft. Even if you're not gaining, you're not earning anything from it, but always speak highly of your craft. Always make the world see that you are the best at what you do. You enjoy doing what you do. Let them envy being in your space. You get, so put yourself out there, talk about what you do. From that, somebody somewhere will see you and call you. And when they call you, when you deliver good quality work, they will keep coming. The first script I ever did, it was good at the standard the person needed it to be. And the person came back and it only got better from there. And from there, I got the recommendation that I got that opened me all of the other doors that I have right now. So just speak highly of your craft, think highly of your craft. It's a good thing you're doing. You are highly blessed and highly gifted to be able to create an emotion out of nothing. That is the superpower right there. You know, sometimes I sit and I tell myself that how are you even able to walk through all of these emotions in one setting? Like you're shouting at somebody at the same time you're soft towards another person. So at the same time you're loving on somebody else that you don't even know, you don't even see the person. At the same time, you're hating on somebody else. So it's a whole lot of things that you're able to maneuver at the same time and still stay sane. That is a superpower. So put yourself out there, talk about your craft in a very special way. Somebody somewhere is going to find you, and when they do, you have to be ready with a product that they will not be able to not come back. They will always come back for you when you are good.
Yes. Wow. All right. That is amazing. Thank you. Hey, we have Bishop Bonieta saying awesome. Thank you, Bishop, for joining us. This is so good. This is so good. Let's talk. Sister Emanuela says, when opportunity meets preparation, there's definitely going to be a breakthrough. Build
Yeah,
your craft by continuous self education. Invest in your craft.
yeah,
Same goes for any gift.
yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right there. Now, let's talk about one of the biggest movies that got me. Oh, when I saw the post from Mr. Julius, Lycée Abaquois. That
Yeah.
script was written by you.
Yes,
How
really.
did they come to you? And tell us a little bit about that script. I haven't got to watch the movie yet, but I know it was a big hit in
Mm-hmm,
Cameroon. And
mm-hmm.
just tell us a little bit about the context into which you were contacted and what you poured into that script, because it really came out to be something really big.
Okay, so I'll go back to how it all happened. Again, I wrote something and I posted a short excerpts of the character. I was just I created a communication between two people talking and exchanging emotions, and I posted it. And this the
Where do you
producer.
post? Sorry to interject. Where do you post all these things so we can all start looking now? Because there seems to be a lot going on somewhere, and we might have seen it and we never even knew anything because
Yes,
it was
yes.
probably
So I
that
post on
God. But
my
where do you
Facebook.
post it? Your
I
page,
post
and
on my
let's
Facebook
go
page.
rush in there.
I post on my Facebook page and then on my stories, on my story timeline on Facebook, and also
And
on
what's
my
your name on Facebook?
Geraldine Forbah.
Awesome. All
Yes.
right, go ahead.
So then I posted that the person read it, and the person was like, "This is powerful. Did you write this?" I say, "Yes, I did." And that person saw that years ago. Like he didn't see it the time he contacted me. That was like years ago, and he told me years ago that we're going to work together. And that time I was just like, okay, okay, whenever it happens, okay. And then years after, he contacted me that I'm ready to get into filmmaking. And I told you that we are going to work together, and this is it. We're going to work together. You're going to write for me. And then he brought the story to me. He had a vision in his mind. This is what I want to create. I want to bring back that school experience between like different people from different backgrounds, and I want to add a spice to it. I want to make it bilingual because I know like the fight that would come out from that, the heat that would come out from that. And when he told me that, I was like, okay, I have your vision in mind. I took the vision, I made it very plain, wrote it down very, very plainly, and I sent it to him. And he was like, wow, this is exactly what I need. And again, because this person he's a perfectionist, we had to stay on the script. We went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, cutting out the things that were not supposed to be there, fitting in the things that were supposed to be there. And every time he would call me, he would just tell me that, Geraldine, this is what I see in words. Can you bring it to life? I was like, of course I can. And then I went into writing, and we finally came up with the masterpiece, Lycée Abakwa, with all of the twists and the turns in it. And one of the things that I always try to do when I write is to put in a lesson that will really, really serve a good one for the people watching, not just about the drama. There should always be a message behind what people see. And that's what I tried to impute into Lycée Abakwa. And when it got into production, I just want to give a big, big, big shout out to Ashton Nomad. He did a wonderful thing with that movie. He told me that he's going to bring my creativity to life with the characters, and he said the production was going to be good, the characters were going to execute exactly the energy that I poured into the script, the emotions and everything. They are going to execute it. And when I sit down to watch, I get so emotional because I see exactly what I was trying to communicate in the words that I wrote down. And he did his best to bring that production to life in the best possible way. And we're still working on more episodes. Like Cameroon is just get ready, because what is coming is big. It's very, very big. And I'm really excited that I got to work on this project with him. And I just love his spirit. He's very, very open, and he gives his ideas, and he listens to your ideas. And if your idea makes more sense than his idea, he takes it like straight away. And
Wow.
all we both just wanted to have a good story that can feed the Cameroonian community in a way that they can relate to it. Even people who are old right now, who are no longer in the class, can see that movie and have like a rumination on how their own school journey was. And I think that's what we're getting, because the comments that we receive, it's just so, 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 so beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. Sister Emma says that she had to go watch that movie because she got to know that you wrote it. So
uh
I think, is that on YouTube or is it on Netflix?
that's on YouTube. That's on
It's on
YouTube.
YouTube. So,
Mm,
oh yeah. So definitely, I have a movie night today.
okay.
It will be Lycée Abakwa. Let's go watch Lycée Abakwa. Leave those
You
comments there,
you will.
and let's go watch the works of Geraldine Forbah. Amazing.
Mhm.
Magdi, Justin Asom Magdi is my good friend right there. He says, "Do you also do documentaries? If yes, then he would like to work with you. Do you write
Yes,
for
I do
documentaries?"
documentaries. I do all
Awesome.
anything that has to do with writing. I do it. Anything that has to do with creating, like I do that. So yeah, documentary. I'm in. I do it.
Wonderful. All right. Dr. Hilda from Maryland says the message, yes, like you're talking about, every story, the message is key to you. Yeah, she says, yes, she says the message is always a pull factor for me. Without it, I lose interest. Indeed,
Yeah.
indeed, indeed. I came
Hmm.
late on playing catch up. Can someone please fill me in on who she is and what she scripted? All right. So this is, I don't want to mess things up. Just catch up with Dr. Hughes and whoever is in there. We're gonna upload this and the whole thing will be played. You can replay that over and watch. But
Yeah.
she is a script writer. She's the one who wrote a lot of the popular movies we have seen in Cameroon. Lycée Abakwa, the other one, what is that? One on Fears.
Justified fears. Yeah. Justified.
Justified Fears, and then she's written movies for Netflix. We got to learn that today, and for many, many big names in Nigeria, and even written content for written a script for Zuala Kate, the comedian, the Christian comedian, and all of that. So that is amazing. I'm just getting to know a whole lot today that we I didn't know before. It is just about the time for me to ask the question that MacD is asking: how do we contact you? And before you tell us about your contact, definitely, I mean, this whole aspect, because I know ministers and Christians, believers, some of us have stories that we didn't even know that it could be turned into a movie.
Yeah.
So let me really bring this to you. If somebody has like a story, maybe a story of their life, what they
Mm-hmm.
went through in their childhood, or they just have a story that they want somebody to bring it out and put it as a movie or as a book or something, are you someone they can reach out to and just maybe just do a recording and send to
Yeah.
you? And can you do wonders with that?
Yes, most definitely. And I'll just say that we need more Christian movies in our community right now. We really, really do need more Christian movies. And the good thing about Christian movies is the experience that we have as Christians. They make for a lot of lessons, a lot. If we can create a drama out of our daily experiences or our journeys, our different journeys as Christians, it's going to be a huge change to especially our youths, because people want to know Christ. They want to know who he is, not just like beyond Jesus loves you, Jesus wants you to come and be with him and do this. They want to know how Jesus works in their personal lives, like the reality of having a relationship with Christ, the things that we go through, the things that you have to deal with, and how he helps you as a person. We can personalize Christ by bringing our experiences that we have with him to life. And that can only be by, well, one of the ways that I know that will really, really put people to knowing this is by showing them how it actually plays out. And telling that in a story, showing that in a movie, it's a very, like, it's a pull factor. And so I will really encourage most of us who have that stories in our minds to invest in it. If you're able to, just bring it out. Something I will create something beautiful out of it, captivating out of it, and then you get into production, put it out there. You will see, you will not believe how many people will relate to your personal journey as a Christian. So yes, I am very much available for that.
Wow. So if the person brings a story, do you help even with, let's say, a title? Because sometimes it's just a story.
Of
They don't even know what it should be called. Do
of
you help
course,
with a title for
of
the movie
course.
or whatever?
Yeah,
Okay.
I do. You
Wow.
see, Justified Fears, I gave the
Yes.
title. The person, she brought the story
Wow.
to me. Yeah, she brought the story to me, and she was like, "Oh, this is what I see. This is what I have in mind. So, what can you make out of it?" And I got the story. I wrote down the plot, wrote down the synopsis, wrote down the characters, created every name that you see. If you watch the movie Justified Fears, the
Is it
names,
also on YouTube?
yes, it's on YouTube.
I'm gonna watch both.
Yeah,
Okay. All
scenery,
right. Okay.
everything, I created that. So I will give you a title if you don't have a title, because it will come as I write. It will just come.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I gave that title, she took it and she was like, "Yes, this is it. Justified Fears. It is art. It is creative. Like if you see it, you will not be able to know what it's talking about, but the title pulls you. I want to know what fear can be actually a justified fear. Let me see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, this is good. Yeah, Dr. Hughes, we have a movie night. Gather the kids and your sweetheart. And
Yeah.
and it's gonna be a movie night today and all this weekend. We're gonna be watching all of your movies. Go post them on your Facebook Live. We're gonna follow you and watch everything you've
I
done.
will.
And this is a blessing. All right. Matt D is asking, how do we contact you? How do people reach out to you? He's also interested in rates. I think the contact, when he contacts you, you can discuss all of that.
Mhm.
So yes, how do people reach out to you? Where do they contact you and how?
Okay, so you can always send me a message through my Facebook page, Geraldine Forbah. When you get send me a message, I will respond to you, and then I can give you my personal contact, and then we can get talking from there and get whatever vision you have in your mind and bring it to life. So I am always available. When it comes to writing, I will always say I am available. Can never turn out the writing geek. So yeah.
Wow. Awesome. Nice. Nice. This is great. It is 1 hour keeping the great script writer right here. This is a 1 hour is a lot of money for her time. So let's do our best to cut it off right here. Please wrap it up for us with any final words Anything I might have missed, just wrap it up and talk to us today as we wrap up for today, please.
Okay, so I would say that one of my greatest secrets to keep doing what I do is consistency. I have always wanted to be a scriptwriter. Around everything else that I have done, that was my goal. That has always been my goal. It has always been my goal, and it's still going to be my goal until I fulfill everything that I have in my mind. I want to someday produce my own movies, but I don't mind writing for other people because it's creating the path that will lead me there. So I don't mind sharing my creativity with other people. By doing that, it still keeps me in the business, and I am happy doing it. So I have been consistent on this path from day one. The day I discovered that I had this gift, I have been consistent with the gift, turning every situation that I saw into a possible story. And even though I don't remember some of the stories I wrote years ago, I don't even remember where the books are, but it made me this person that I am today. So I would just say, whatever that you believe that you are called to do, you might want to do some other things, but don't forget to keep that one thing going. Be consistent with it. Always so into that thing, because someday it will need you to deliver. Someday that thing will call you. You will need to answer. And if you're not ready, it would just pass you by like that. And then at the end of the day, you've just lived around so many things, but you haven't done what you were actually meant to do. I believe that this is what God called me to do. This is what gives me my greatest satisfaction. This is what makes me who I am. This is Geraldine. She's the scriptwriter. She's the storyteller. I was born to tell stories. I always say that. I was born to create stories. And I just love the idea of seeing people come into the space where they can freely express themselves, no matter in whatever area of life. So I would just say that at the end of the day, just be consistent on that path that God has called you. That is the only thing that will give you the desired results. I've seen it work in my life. It's working in my life, and I believe it will work for you as well.
Powerful, powerful right there. I'm gonna mess things up today. I've never done this, but I just got one last little question in my mind. What is your greatest joy as a script writer? Is it the cash that comes from it? Is it the movie when you sit down and watch them? What gives you the greatest joy as a script writer? Please just touch on that.
That will be my client satisfaction when I write for somebody and the person is like, perfect. I love it, love it, love it. I'm good. I'm that's it for me. I am so happy. That is one. And then the second is to see how good the people bring the story to life, because it's one thing to write a good script, and it's another thing for people to produce it in a way that when people see it, they can actually see the heart of the writer. So when I get that client saying good job, and then I see that the client does a good job with the script, the production, and everything, I'm very, very happy.
Wow. All right. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, Geraldine Forbah, for being here with us today. Logris Feco says, my powerhouse girl. Pastor John Summer from Maryland. This is interesting. Thanks for all you have shared, my dear. Dr. Hilda says, haven't met you, but I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Agent Paul. Agent Paul says, I think Geraldine is very genuine and not trying to be someone else. I love that
Mhm.
fact so much.
Thank you.
And Diodene from South Korea says, great, great, great indeed. Sister Amen from Houston, consistency is key. Thank you, my dear. And of course, excellent job to you from Asaf ACN right there. We're going to call it a day, but we are so grateful and thank you for enlightening us. We've never had a session like this on this. We've never even thought about this, but we're grateful that God has you in our midst and we were able to learn so much from you today. Thank you, Geraldine.
Thank you so much for having me. It was such a joy. I've never shared this part of me with anybody like I've done here. So I was a little bit nervous from the beginning. I was like, God, I have not, the world don't know this side of me, so I didn't really know what I was going to say. But I'm really glad that you created this platform and you gave me your platform to talk about this side of Geraldine. I know the other side of me, but this side I'm happy that I've been able to share that with the people here. And thank you all so much for the love, for the messages, and I'm looking forward to bringing more stories to life as we go.
Awesome, awesome. And of course, the other side we know is the singing side.
Yeah.
Geraldine Forbah, the great singer. And hey, all of you, Maryland, wherever you are, get ready to be at Empowerment Conference. You get to meet Geraldine Forbah and shake her hands and why not
Yeah.
get an autograph from
Yeah.
her. We look forward to
Yes.
that indeed. Thank you so much. And we are truly grateful for your time today.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what a time we had today. This has been a plate full. A lot of information, a lot of knowledge has been shared with us today on this session of Empowerment Hour. And we are truly grateful. Thanks to everyone that joined us. And the best you can do for yourself is to watch this entire live stream when it's been uploaded. Watch out for, she's going to, post a couple of her movies. Just go to her timeline, Geraldine Forbah on Facebook, and follow her and check it out. We already have 2 movies for the movie night today and this weekend and all across. So get yourself ready for Justified Fears and Lycée Abakwa. That's a good one to start with. Those 2 right there, and you would have a good time. God bless you, and I'll see you again next Monday for another session of Empowerment Hour. Goodbye.